At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance, we are the future of crypto.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Vibraville. Hope you had a great day. And we are now one day away from the almighty rate cuts, where Mr. Powell gets to come out and just ramble for 20 minutes, making no sense. He'll probably make up a couple words and then cut rates. And normally this is a bad thing, right? We are admitting that we probably should be in a recession right now. We just missed jobs by 911,000 jobs. Kind of odd. So, man, I don't know. What are you thinking? Are we going to just pump to the heavens? Jerome's going to come in, give us a 50-point rate cut, surprise everybody, or 25 points priced in? Are we going to have rate cuts in September, October, November? No one knows, all right? That's why we are positioned where we are. And we're letting the pump come to us. We don't have to chase shit. And now DOVU going absolutely crazy this past week is kind of a sign that we are on the right path. You know, that carbon credits, real world assets, Hedera, been talking about it nonstop for years. So obvious Hedera is going to be one of the big winners long-term this cycle moving forward. And DOVU is one of the OG projects over there. I don't know what the hell happened, but all of a sudden now we are off to the races. We've done a 5X in a week. A little less. Sorry, 10 days. Not bad. Nothing's happening. We're all waiting. If this is a sign of what's to come, holy shit, fam. We are about to hit it huge on some of these coins. Research coin. I just saw the base bridge opening. How big that's going to be. What's his face? Jesse, I think his name is. The base dude was on stage talking about how big that is. And it now brings competition to Ethereum, guys. ETH is not all that it's cracked up to be. It just had such an advantage moving forward. It was obviously ahead of its time, but since then, there's better stuff out there. And yeah, ETH can be great for Wall Street, but you're not putting any games on Ethereum, guys. Let's be serious. Like that. That's why Illuvium, I finally sold it 6 months ago or something, because I realized, holy shit, it's not going to work. They got to go over to Polygon, which I think they were starting to do. And you start to see a lot of these projects, they can't even last. And unfortunately, 99% of crypto is all vaporware. It is not going to be around in 5 years from now. You know, we've been in this like weird meme coin degeneracy, diluting the markets, liquidity just getting extracted from everybody. I don't think that's going to be the case for much longer. I think utility is going to really, really change this market, and it's going to come fast. And we're right on the precipice. Tomorrow is the admission that we screwed up. We got it all wrong. And it's obvious that we've been in a recession. They fudged the numbers to make the Biden campaign look strong, or the Biden economy look strong, when it was actually falling apart. And I knew that was the case. You know, I think I talked about it on stream like a year ago, how I was watching some TikTok videos and reading some Twitter threads where these kids were applying to every single job that was online. And it was the same thing. You would get a third interview, they'd string you along, and then they wouldn't give you a job. And it was all the same people were saying the same thing. So it was clear nobody was hiring, but yet these numbers were reflecting and showing differently. So how can people come and invest and make decisions based on an economy that is just complete nonsense? Who knows? Everything in this world, guys, is a stage. Everything going on in the mainstream, they're empathy vampires. They're here to rob your emotions and your feelings. You need to tune it out. But people don't want to hear that. People complain about, oh, this, I hate going to work and, oh, bitching about everything. But when you tell them the solution, they won't do it for themselves. So few people actually will take that step and make change. It's hard. It's much easier to just fall into the comforts of your 9 to 5. You know, everything's cushy there. You're never going to be really ahead, but you're never going to be behind until AI comes and replaces your job, which is going to be the case for a lot of people. I was just watching a thing about the driverless trucks, and they're testing them right now down in Texas in this kind of like I don't say vacant, but more desolate part of the state where there's an interstate going through. And they need to have a driver in the truck that's like sitting there just in case. But if they're not driving, they get paid less. So they like drive for the first little bit until they get on the road, I think. And then once they like pull in or something. So it basically takes 90% of the driving away. And truckers are like the number one job in America. So what happens when you replace all them? Where do those jobs go? And I don't know. You just give people money. Here's UBI, here's rent money. Okay, cool. What do I do? I mean, that frees you up to show you what's really valuable in life, like family, friends, growing your own food, connecting with nature, getting out into grass. And I think that's such a reason so many people are so unhealthy, because we're so far from where we should be. But there's so many smart people in crypto that are good people that understand it. And if they get money, they're going to do good things with it. So many people in the XRP community, once it hits high numbers, same thing with Stellar, same thing with HBAR. It's lonely with a lot of money. You got all this money. Oh, I want to go on vacation, but no one can go because they all got to work. And if you have money, or if you have never had money before and you're an asshole, money's going to make you a bigger asshole. If you've never had money before and you're a real good person, you take care of everyone, you're not stingy, money will make you a better person. That's it. It just allows you to do what you're doing, but at a bigger level. So you'll be either a better, bigger, good person where you help more people out, or you'll be a bigger asshole and you'll be flexing with your car and all this meaningless shit, trying to impress the ladies when it's like you look like a fucking clown. But I was like that. That was me in my 20s, and I'll admit it. I was an idiot. But I'm glad I got that shit out of my system and went to work straight in commercial real estate where I was the youngest person. There was 2 other people that were in their 20s in the entire area I was starting in. So I was with a lot of older people. And it really, a lot of times I would think something was cool, or like a dumb belt or something I'd wear to work, and they'd all just laugh at me. But I didn't care. I was like, yeah, you like it. That's why you're laughing at it. No one laughs at your belts because they're so plain. No one even notices them. So, it was fun, but I'm glad I learned. And now with crypto, I didn't understand how to take profits last cycle. I found a bunch of gems early. We had a nice little group. We found Matic early, Cardano early, Quant, Aave. Me and my boy, I remember when ETH was like $130 or something like that. And you could get like 6 or 7 of them for $1,000. And if we had just held on to all those coins and not diversified and chased shit and gotten into YFDI and just so many projects that made money, but I didn't know what to do with it. And then once you're successful with, say you take $5,000 and you got 100 grand, now you're taking bigger risk. Now you're throwing 10, 20 grand into some plays, which is crazy to even think. I remember Game Zone, GSX or GZX. It was unavailable to the US. So I sent the homie Facing Reality I sent him $25,000 to stake in those tokens. Or no, I bought the tokens and sent them to him to stake so we could start getting into the pre-sales for the last like 10 projects. And they made so much money, it looked like on the outside. But as soon as you got your tokens, if you didn't run to PancakeSwap, set your slippage to 10% and sell immediately, if your transaction failed, you went from like getting back 3.8 Binance to 2.6. And if you waited around, it was 2.4, then 1.8. So if you weren't there immediately to dump your tokens, you didn't max out. And I didn't know what I was doing. So after all of that shit, I ended up losing money. I lost like 5 grand. That's a lot of money. Like right now, that's bigger bags than 90% of the stuff I have. But when the bull market comes and you just start making insane gains, you start taking more risk, which that's why I'm going to be here to try to stop you guys from doing that and doing dumb shit. And just, you have to just not pay attention to it. Just check in on it every day or two. Like, don't be at your computer every single day. You know, if when you need to make sure your security, everything is good. You know, I was just listening today, a thing about, it's called Pegasus, this new virus or something that the Israeli government or some private company developed, and the Israeli government is the only one that has it. And it's some kind of malware or tracer that can hack into any phone without knowing they're there. Now, I don't know if that phone has to be activated or what, but like now I heard that. So the crypto phone I used, I'm leaving it off unless I need to use it. I'm just turning it off. I'm not even going to have it on ever now. Like there's so many things that start freaking you out. And a YubiKey key is another thing to get for your computer. But like I have my crypto computer only too, that I rarely use. But I think I'm going to start getting used to using my hotspot on my phone and not your Wi-Fi at your house, because I think that's the problem. They hack into the Wi-Fi. So if you're connected to your hotspot on a phone, I think that internet is more secure somehow. But like, this is the shit that sucks about DeFi. You know, you work so hard, you find these coins, and they're, even though you have them securely held, like people could still kind of steal it from you. It just doesn't sit well with me. And then the other answer is, institutional custody. But yeah, then you have to give up everything you have and put it out on paper, when crypto is to eliminate that stuff. So every day, man, it just makes you think. You never feel content with what's coming. It feels like there's always going to be something around the corner that catches you off guard or by surprise. So you could do everything perfectly and then get it all stolen. Something just doesn't sit right about that. We need some kind of better protection, whether it's like an AI, or maybe cryptos are tax-free and we can use institutional custody and we can be friends with the institutions. I mean, maybe that's the world we go to. I don't know. I don't know. But I just know that burying your seed phrase, if you want to self-custody and hiding it and trying to knock it on the internet with your crypto wallet, that's not the future of money. But enough rambling. Let's see what's going on tonight. We are 1 day away. Hex has now closed in to almost 3-1 to Hex. I got nerve-wracking for a little bit because we dropped for a while. And when Richard killed it, last year, right here, boom. It was almost 7-1. And then it rolled over again down here. Holy shit. It did get to 10-1. All right. I remember, I swear it being 9-1-ish around there. Because I swear 40,000 got me like 360,000. So I took all of my regular Hex and swapped it for Hex here and then down here again. And I've just been holding. I have no regular Hex. And now, once we start, I think we're going to move back forward and come back up to here. At least 0.80% of it. And that way it'll be like, what, 1.5 to 1 or something like that? Or no, holy shit, it'll be 1.8. Wow. So you only lose 20%. So if you had 1 million Hex, you could get back like 800,000 Hex without even swapping or doing anything. Just playing the ratios. And that's what I did. That's what I did with Pulse and PulseX. When PulseX first launched, we sacrificed for both of them. And I had known, because of what we did for PulseX, is we combined sacrifices with a bunch of different people. And we got a nice pool of like $70,000 together. And from just knowing and running it, I knew 5 people were selling that whole bag for Pulse because they missed out. So I knew PulseX wasn't going to run hard, like people were saying. And when it came out, it dipped down here to 4-1. And I got in at 3.8-1 and then sold off at like almost 1.2 or 1.4-1. So I think it was 100 million Pulse got me 378 million PulseX. And then to get back my 100 million, I swapped back, I think, I want to say it was like 160. So I ended up with 200 million PulseX and my 100 million Pulse back from the original 100 that I could have just held the whole time and just hodled, but then I would have missed out on a massive gain of PulseX. So the ratios, guys, are huge. And I don't know now if it comes all the way back down to here and you got to do the opposite thing, but I'm only holding PulseX right now. My Pulse chain is in PTGC, UFO, PDI, Atropa. That's the stuff I'm going to be selling back for Pulse. I think it's going to do so much better. So I have my plan. I'm holding Ink 2. I think that's going to outperform Pulse. And I got Hex too. A lot of Hex. I know that's like the cores that I'm holding this cycle. Yeah, I think it's going to, bro. I follow a really, really great TA guy, Camel Finance. Follow him. And we are right on track to print the mid-cycle low or the weekly cycle low. It comes in about every 60 days. And we are within 10 days of it. So by 15 days. It was by September 29th or 30th, we should be bottoming out and then be ripping. Because even though, yes, we always pump for 12 months after rate cuts, we always have a dump, and it's usually bearish at first. We usually like go down for about a month or a couple weeks in the past, and then we take off. So the initial cut is a sell the news event. I hope it's not. I hope I'm wrong. But I just look at like DOVU, and I took profits on that. I'm learning. Goo God's teaching me. DOVU's up so much. I sold half my bag from like 7,800 to 8,500. And we're at 9 right now. So I think this is going to come in the next 2 weeks. This is going to retrace hard. The RSI is so overbought. And it's not like we got in at 005 and we're only up. We're up like 15x from when we got in on this in 2022. Like, I can't even find the full on where it is actually. Saucer Swap, the home, the best decks on Hedera. And we were in the pre-sale. We got the NFTs. Nothing. No. All right. Well, that was DOVU. All right. I'm trying to connect. Well, whatever. We don't need to see the chart. It's up a lot. So for me, I'm taking profits. Like, look at the RSI. It's at all-time highs. And after every huge pump like this, like that was a mega pump. Like this went half up and then topped off, so it took longer. But I mean, look at that, guys. Like every time we get a great pump like that, we get a retracement. So I'm thinking it's going to come back down to like right here. So I should be able to buy half my bag back and then profit a couple thousand. And I need to do that. You can't just be leaving money on the table. It's a huge mistake I've been making. And no more of it. I think it's going to pump 10%. That'd be good. Yeah. I mean, bro, it's just short-term noise. Like October is going to be the month. It really, really is. And two, the second I know we're going to crash too, because think about it. The second we raise rates or cut rates, that now squeezes the reverse carry trade in Japan a little bit further. So that's going to put pressure on Japan and it's going to unwind. Like, I know it. Like, they're setting it up to crash Japan. Guys, we're going to have a huge liquidity crisis, I think. Like a COVID type dip that's due to no liquidity in the market. And it's going to come at some point, but we'll be able to tell. Like, I'm watching Japan. I'm in some private groups and a paid group where it's a big focus, what's going on over there with the yen. And that's going to be the catalyst. I promise you guys that. Why do you think Tether is launching a new stable coin? If everything was good with Tether, they wouldn't be launching a new coin. All right, they're going to crash Tether. I promise you. They need to get liquidity out of Bitcoin into the blue chips. And that's going to happen very, very soon. If we get a 0.5 cut tomorrow, yeah, we'll pump hard for a couple days, maybe a week. And then but that's the thing, bro, 0.5%, that immediately breaks Japan. So it's not going to last for more than a couple days. So they can't do a 0.5%, bro. I promise you. Look up the reverse carry trade. If we go down a 0.5%, Japan unwinds immediately. And last time that happened, we saw a 13% drawdown in the stock market in one day. And this is going to be worse. But guys, that's why we're positioned where we are, because we know this is coming. That's why we are positioned on the other side of it in XRP and XLM and HBAR and Stronghold and Flare and Axelar. Because everything is just crushing. Total real world assets now 30 billion, up 9% from 30 days ago. Guys, it's just going parabolic, and it is not going to stop. They're going to keep writing debt on chain. They're going to start issuing. Everything is coming on chain. Stocks, derivatives in a couple of years. Guys, everything. People can't comprehend this shit. I know what's coming. I've done the research. I put the work in. I'm obsessed with knowing I'm positioned in the right spot to maximize profits and gains for the next 10 years. This isn't just a get rich overnight scheme. This is years of research and getting ready. And the SEC is about to usher in a ton of crypto ETFs. Get ready, Wall Street. You fuckers are going to be doing cocaine and going crazy. The US SEC is working on a generic listing standard for crypto ETFs. The fresh rule will allow new ETFs to launch automatically if they meet basic requirements. Guys, we can launch a freaking ETF now. No problem. Vibraville ETF coming soon. I'm going to tokenize all my Pokemon cards. I was thinking that if I take $100,000 in Pokemon cards and I tokenize them and put each one of them on the blockchain and a picture of it, and then we can have tokens that represent that value. And if it goes up in value, our tokens go up in value. And it's so cool. There's so many ways that little communities and stuff we can't even think about now that are going to be formed. The SEC is getting ready to blow the market open, says Matt Hogan of Bitwise. This is a coming of age moment for crypto, a signal we've reached the big leagues. Yes. Spot Bitcoin ETFs have proved the viability, led by BlackRock and Robbie Mitchnick, head of digital assets, that came from where? Ripple. So the SEC now is doing that. Google unveils an open source protocol for AI payments with stablecoin support in collaboration with Coinbase. Guys, Google is working with Flare too, okay? Behind the scenes, it's a complete different story than what the mainstream is telling you. You're all being lied to. And that's where I am here to see through the bullshit and tell you what's actually going on, so you can crush it this cycle and not fall victim to the nonsense. Signaling crypto's growing role in empowering the AI-driven digital economy. Guys, AIs are going to have to pay each other instantly. For all this shit to work, transactions have to happen boom, 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 instantly. You turned on Netflix, you watched it for 48 seconds. All right, boom, that 48 seconds right there, you get deducted from your account. I just saw a commercial about a new insurance for your car, auto insurance, that you tap it on when you hop in your car. You'll say, you know, you're not going anywhere for a day. You turn your insurance off. And then your car sits there for an entire day. You didn't waste a day's worth of your premium. Then the next morning, you got to go to work. Boop. You start your insurance up, go to work. When you get home for the night, shut it off. Guys, that's how things are going to happen in the future. It's going to be wild. So many cool things are coming. Don't let these assholes fudge you out. All right. We've talked about so many awesome projects here that are going to change the world. And this is another example from exactly what I've been talking about. We talked about Block V and Swarm Markets months ago. And now American Express launches travel stamp NFTs on Base. So say you travel to Turks and Caicos, American Express is going to give you a beautiful, congratulations, you traveled to Turks and Caicos stamp. And it's like a little NFT. All right. And it's through Amex Digital Labs. I don't know who they're working with. I didn't look it up, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's done through Block V. I wouldn't be surprised at all, because that's exactly what they're doing. And I think American Express was actually on the website with Starbucks, with Burberry, with Gucci, with all the big brands, Under Armour. They're working with everybody. And that's what's coming too. So guys, we are so set to crush it. And that's why when you buy these awesome projects, even though they're so far down on the rankings, like DOVU's number 3,900 or 3,900, right? I've been talking about DOVU's for 3 years. We accumulated it over the bear market. You were able to get 1 million coins for 500, not even. It was like $400 for 1 million coins, guys, at the bottom. And now that's worth 9K. So it's done over a 20x from when we found it and first got in. And the whole time I've been earning rewards. I get like 50 coins a day, which at a penny, that's 50 cents now a day in staking rewards. Well, now I sold, it's going to get cut in half, but I'm going to restake it as soon as I buy back when the dip comes. Like Japan is going to unwind. This is going to dip hard, but this is just validation that we're right. This is going to happen to everything that we're in. And you don't buy it when it's pumping. You buy it down here when it's dead. And we've talked about all the gems to buy. Yep, that too, bro. Instant paychecks. That's huge too. Yep. Yep, it's a good point. People getting paid the second they clock out of work. No more every 2 weeks paycheck. And then it has to clear your bank. And no, Nope. It's a thing of the past. And then the US and the UK to deepen crypto collaboration. As we knew all this was coming. We talked about the last prime minister in England, Rishi Sunak, and how he used to work with Gilbert Verdian from Quant. Gilbert used to work for basically the National Security Agency of Britain in cybersecurity. So all these people know each other. The whole world's a stage. And the United States and the US are going to have a system where they can collaborate on. There's going to be a worldwide ledger. And XRP is going to be the neutral bridge asset that settles it all. Heart and center. The super ledger, the XRPL. Love it or hate it, that's what's coming. And I just want to watch and a couple videos and show you guys. I'm not the only one that sees it.
I filed a claim for my car with the Geico app.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 52 of Stronghold SHX, the road to $3.33 with myself, crypto banker SHX. I hope you're well. It is September the 16th. Before we dive in, just an important prerequisite as well. Well, when that's all confirmed and you...
So guys, Stronghold just opened up Stronghold Japan and Stronghold Korea, two brand new operations that are huge.
And you read about it, it's going to be too late. Or if you don't understand it and you're getting frustrated, then...
Sorry if it got cut off there. He said by the time you read about this stuff and you see it, it's too late. You want to be in it. Like DOVU is the perfect example.
Don't hold it. Sell. Like, see you later. Really? Because we have Tammy Camp, who is the co-founder of Stronghold, confirmed as a guest speaker. And do you know what she's going to be speaking about? The future of digital asset treasury. Why? Why would she be speaking about that of all things?
And if you haven't seen on Crypto Banter and everywhere, digital asset treasury companies are the hottest thing ever. Everyone wants a treasury now.
Because the reason why, if you haven't guessed, because SHX is the future of finance. I've been screaming about this for years, and now everything is falling into place, and all the stars are aligning, and everything that I've spoken about over the last 2 years, 2.5 years, is now coming to fruition at an amazing pace. If you're so focused on the short-term price, like I say, either understand what it is or don't and sell. Like, I can't understand the mentality of certain people when you have this, like, these updates. When I first started my profile, you never got anything. Like, you literally got nothing. They weren't doing any of this. But slowly but surely, and now very quickly, they're everywhere. Like, they're speaking and are a sponsor of XRP conference. Like, Asia's largest XRP Web3 conference. And they're sponsoring it. With Tammy speaking at it. And at the same time as well, we have a new Stronghold page, Stronghold Korea. You're going to see this for pretty much every single country. And the reason why you're going to see it for every single country is because they're a global powerhouse. They are the future of finance. Stronghold will be a household name globally by 2030. Don't believe me, just watch.
Boom. That's it, guys. A Stronghold name. Stronghold will be a household name by 2030. And guess what? Like, we all know, I've talked about it. I showed Ito's last video that got him kicked off of Twitter when he went down the rabbit hole and proved that Ripple's origins went all the way back to the NSA, and it was never an organic company. He proved it. All right. So we know Ripple came from the NSA, an organic company. This is how they take over. Same thing with Facebook. Same thing with Google. Same thing with Tesla. They're not organic companies. They are made from the government. So is Coinbase. So is Kraken. So is Gemini. All right. Mark Zuckerberg. You know what his real freaking name is? Hold on, guys. I'm going to show you a little something. And like, I don't care. I want to hear something funny too, how shadow banned I am. Earlier today, I put up the stream at like 4 o'clock and I went on with my Vibra CEO account, my Vibra Finance one, and then Lindsay's account. And I went and I liked the video from 3 different accounts. And I just logged in to do the stream and it said I had 1 like. So where'd the other 2 go from my 3 different accounts? Right here. Did you know that Mark Zuckerberg's real name is Jacob Greenberg, and he is the grandson of David Rockefeller? Zuckerberg in German is Sugar Mountain, their clandestine word for Facebook, no doubt. A mountain of information from which they can extract billions. The Rothschilds own nearly 10% of all Facebook shares, and Facebook was funded with $500 million from a CIA-owned bank, which is not a secret. Still think Facebook was created by a bored, no-name college student and stole it from the Winklevi twins? Guys, if you think that story is true, then you need to stop watching this channel because it is not for you. All right. Facebook was created by our government. All of the tech, Palantir, all of it comes from the government. Okay. Ripple included. So that being said, where did the founders of Stronghold come from? Tammy Camp was the first woman ever hired at Ripple. And Sean Bennett was one of the first devs ever hired at Ripple. And then they just start Stronghold. They have the idea. No, that they were fucking told to do that. Because Stronghold, like to take over all payments. This shit's been going on for 10 plus years behind the scenes.
Watch them. Like, I'm not here to convince anyone of anything. I'm here to share a journey with people and to give them insight into something which I could see before pretty much anyone else. Because I was gifted in that way and put in positions throughout my life to then bring about this opportunity and communicate it to the masses as early as possible in the most professional and consistent way to allow the average person who may not know what I know, who may not have been privy to what I have been told and seen and done, the people I've met, the conversations I've had.
He spent 20 years in high-end investment banking. Just to let you guys know, 20 years in investment banking. He said he knows a lot of people at the biggest banks, still has relationships with them. So this guy is super smart. You know, he follows me. I've followed him for a couple of years. Like, all his videos are alpha. Nothing's bullshit.
Only a very small amount of people in the world who have been exposed to what I have been exposed to. And so, like I say, all of this is only going to get more and more and more bullish. And I'll tell you something now. People don't believe me. That's fine. I don't care. But what's going to happen, and you'll see it happen, is there's a number of people who have quite a lot of SHX, right? And when it gets to certain cent points, maybe 10 cent, 15 cent, 20 cent, they're going to be in an incredible position. And people will start to take profits. I don't think it's just going to be those people. I think there's going to be a multitude of people who will take profits. Okay. Now, one scenario which I think is going to happen, and this might not happen, you know, I could be sat here doing this show for the next 50 years, but I think a lot of people are going to exit early. And I hope they do. Because all that will happen is then they're going to be buying back at high prices. Why is Amazon paying me?
Oh my God, these commercials. But no, bro, there's nowhere to stake Stronghold yet unless it's on Ethereum. So they're putting out a brand new wallet and shit. So just wait a little bit, bro. It's coming.
And like I say, this thing has been chosen. It was chosen years and years ago, way before probably anyone who's listening to this or watching this got into crypto. And all you're seeing now is it unfold. And how it unfolds, there isn't a standard procedure for this because it's never happened before. It's not like, oh, right, okay, well, they'll do this, and they'll do this, and they'll do this, and then maybe it might be $1, maybe it might be $2, maybe it might be $10. It's just going to happen as it happens. But if you are educated in crypto, and if you are privy to insights, then, like I say, it's not a question of if now with SHX. It's a question of when. Don't let them shake you out. This thing represents an opportunity rare. It's very rare that these things come about. And look what they're doing. They're not stopping. They're not stopping at all. In fact, it's getting more and more frequent, which again should tell you that they're aligning and lining all of this up to be the most effective way to introduce SHX to the world. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the future of finance being introduced to the world. Do you think that they're going to rush that or fumble it just because you're complaining that it's not on any exchanges? No. They're going to time it to the most optimum because they're using AI. Like, the AI that is available now to certain people is insane. Like, you can really, really put various different scenarios in to bring about real time and almost like a glimpse into the future. You can add different stimulants into it, and it will tell you pretty much very accurately what effect that will have, and yeah, what would happen if you did that, right? So the future is not random. It's never been random anyway, but especially not now. Like, these things are poised and primed by AI to be successful. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. We don't have time. Maybe in another episode. But here, as I say, Stronghold are expanding globally. It's not the US, it's global. They'll make the mark in the US. That's where they'll make the mark. That's where they'll be.
All right, you guys get it. All right. Like, it's so obvious how Stronghold is going to be a chosen one. We've been talking about it since 2023. It's been almost 3 years. All 2023, 2024, 2025. We've been holding Stronghold, talking about it, accumulating it, and now the fruits of our labor are going to pay off. It's a 5-year investment plus, guys, in crypto with good projects. And this was such a good video. We got to watch this, and because it's just better you hear it from other people.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours in Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. The information that I'm about to go over in today's episode is going to have you mind blown. And after I'm done connecting all these thoughts together, I want your opinions in the comments down below. If you were kind of unsure about where XRP was going, after you're done watching this video, you're going to say, wow. I mean, all I got to do right now is just stay alive so I can enjoy my wealth. And that's the only thing I can tell you guys.
There's a couple of things that are a little bit different about this. This is the first time in our history where we've seen actually retail lead and institutional follow. But there's a couple of things that are a little bit different about this. This is the first time in our history where we've seen actually retail lead and institutional follow. But
if you're accumulating XRP, you have one job: stay alive so you can enjoy the wealth. That's it. Because XRP at $3 is dirt cheap. XRP at $100 is going to be dirt cheap. And the information I'm going to present to you is explosive. We're going to go over what the DTCC patent said. Okay, you got to understand the DTCC is not some random corporation. They are the plumbing of Wall Street. The organization that processes, clears, and
the DTCC is the plumbing of Wall Street. Guys, remember the video I did about a month or two ago about it's not even the guy he's about to talk about. It's another person on the DTCC. It's like the CIO or something, and how he used to work at Stellar Development Foundation, and he worked on the project that the DTCC brought in and said they're going to be using 5 years ago. So he was working on it and then moved on to the DTC to be in place to say, yep, we're going to adopt this technology that I used to work on. And come to find out, it gets even crazier with Ripple.
Settles over quadrillions of dollars each year. And under a patent that is still pending, okay, the information here is just monumental. And the dot connecting, take a look at this for a moment. Let's set the tone briefly.
So I created this indicator which gives me...
Jesus, these commercials are insane.
2025, the DTCC and Hidden Road, if you do not know, Ripple bought Hidden Road for $1.25 billion on April 8th, 2025. So this was a month before. The DTCC came out and they gave clearance for Hidden Road to start dabbling with their fixed income clearing corporation, the FICC, Fixed Income Clearing Corporation. And this happened while Ripple was trying to get a hold of Hidden Road. You do understand that when Ripple announced their purchase of Hidden Road, this didn't take like a month of planning. These individuals, these two entities have been talking for probably over a year. And then what are the timing of this? Like Ripple knew the DTCC and Hidden Road were going to come here and collaborate 100%. That is not even something that you could try to dispute. And when you go over to April 14th, 5 days later, the DTCC comes out in a press release and they say that the Fixed Income Clearing Corporation, where now Ripple and Hidden Road are deeply penetrated, they did $11 trillion in daily volume. Did you hear that? $11 trillion in daily volume.
Guys, $11 trillion. So now Hidden Road is that brokerage company that processes all this shit. They are now going to be processing this volume. Do you understand that? So if all XRP's supply is being used, all 100 billion, and you're transacting 11 trillion. So even if XRP can be reused 10 times is what I've heard. So that's 1 trillion. That means XRP would have to be $11 minimum just to clear this here. That's assuming you're using the entire supply of 100 trillion. And that's not even possible right now. There's only 2 trillion left on exchanges or something like that. And then Ripple's escrow account. So say 50 billion of that is used. That's a $22 price just to settle this alone.
It's just the fixed income clearing. We're not even talking about the FX market where it is over $10 trillion a day. We're not even talking about Swift, and Swift's number are way north than $5 trillion on a daily basis.
So Swift right there and all of them together are like 60 or 70 trillion a day. So now you're talking about what, $100 XRP minimum? And that's thinking you're using all 50 billion, which you're not. There's only going to be, say, 5 billion to clear all this. So 5 billion clearing 50 trillion. Do the math.
ACI Worldwide, they told you that they do about $14 trillion on a daily basis.
Bank of New York custodies $50 trillion in assets. It's $50 trillion. And they haven't even started the crypto side.
Oh, yeah. BNY Mellon. Guess what? Guess who they're partnered with? Oh, yeah. Ripple. BNY Mellon, the oldest bank in the country from the 1790s. Oh, Ripple partner. $50 trillion.
Okay. And like, you really can't make this stuff up. This was a record for them. $12 trillion. Again, they broke another record July 2nd, 2025. The Fixed Income Clearing Corporation. And when we get into this patent, systems, methods, and storage media for managing digital liquidity tokens in a distributed ledger platform. George Daniel Doney. This is very, very ironic to me. Why? Because Daniel Doney, before DTCC, was the founder of C Currency. C Currency, guess what? I mean, like I said, they're all, it's like they're all in this together, right? C Currency was bought by DTCC. Today, the DTCC announced it has closed on the transaction to acquire C Currency. Are you seeing this? Long in the making. And then you have Mr. Daniel, you have the DTCC telling you in this patent of what is expected. If you take a look at the blueprint here, you can see step one. Look closely at this chart. Step one, it says analyze possible payment paths. And what do you see? You see Ripple bridge node, Stellar bridge node, Smart Provider bridge node. And I want you to understand, great for XLM, great for XRP, great for whatever's in this diagram. But you have to also, you have to consider, and this is a fact, the DTCC is not going to give you just one example. They're not going to just put XRP here. They're going to put other use cases as well. That's a possibility. This is a patent. Okay, they're not going to just tell you everything. And speculation, this is the DTCC literally mapping out how cross-ledger transfers are going to work. And guess what? You see Ripple is in the same area as Stellar, meaning it's not optional. It's a part of the core backbone. And then they show you the system builds chains off transactions. Okay, you can see right here sending A, and they're sending Stellar, and the user B is receiving Ripple. A flow of value being stitched together through bridges. And then what do? They merge those chains into a multi-network transaction. Okay, are you seeing this right here? and it's validated, and then it's finalized into the settlement stage. So let me ask you, what asset is built to bridge liquidity between systems in seconds? You're probably wondering, oh, Stellar's doing that too. Okay, listen, let's go back to 2023 for a moment, or 2022. The Stellar Foundation destroyed half their supply, 55 billion. And you know the individuals that say, yeah, burn XRP. Okay, XLM burned half their supply. Why isn't XLM the same price as XRP? Please explain in the comments down below. Stellar will have its role in the future. It'll do well. But you cannot compare XLM and Stellar by no means. I mean, XLM and XRP by no means. And that's a fact. Remember all the hate that I got years ago when I told you why I sold all my XLM? And listen, holding both, it's whatever. It's not a big deal. If you already have it, you have it. But tell me why XLM isn't the same price as XRP. It should be because it has half the circulating supply, right? Because that's how people want to look at the markets. Honestly, I want you guys to tell me, because I have evidence to tell you that deep liquidity is going to be the winner at the end of the day, because the BIS told you in the report back in 2023.
Moving on to solving the liquidity problem, I'm super keen to hear this panel and what solutions are there. In my experience, a good way to do this is to allow third-party credit to come in through leverage and intermediaries like you have in the TradFi space. To do that, the scale issues we talked about earlier need to really be addressed.
Like, listen to this. And this is perfect example of XRP. They're talking about different models in this marketplace to gravitate towards trading fewer currency pairs. And then they give you this example. For instance, a third currency, C currency, could become the vehicle currency on the marketplace. In this case, person I would trade A currency, so USD, A currency, for C currency, it's in the middle, so XRP, through one market maker, which would then turn another market maker into trade C currency for B currency. So you would trade that XRP for yen, for example, right? You see it goes ABC, C is the third letter, but they're telling you C is the vehicle currency. So A currency being USD is going to be traded to the C currency, which is XRP. And I'm using XRP as an example. And XRP then in turn is going to be traded for the B currency. And then the BIS told you, remember, I've educated you guys on the importance of deep liquidity. And they're telling you that liquidity in the foreign exchange market is a key factor of success. The currency pairs traded on the marketplace, okay? The currency pairs traded on the marketplace will naturally gravitate to those offering most liquidity.
Hey guys, what has David Schwartz told us for years? The XRP is going to be called the XRP ledger has the DEX built into the protocol, and it's going to be called the super DEX of all of crypto because it is guaranteed to be where the most liquidity is, and you're going to get the least amount of slippage and pay the least amount of fees, guaranteed. It's coming. I promise.
Like, what else do more people want? You know, there's two things. No, there's one thing money could buy right now. I wish you could buy two, but it can. Just for the people that are impatient. Money could buy XRP, but money cannot buy patience. I cannot stress that enough. I want you guys to understand this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Every single one of you that have been religiously following my channel since the inception, you guys are all handsomely in profit and you have nothing to say. Okay? And individuals, again, there's no hate comments at all, but I'm just saying in general, the only individuals that are sour in 2025 about XRP are the ones that missed the boat. It's just, that's literally what it is. Okay? So this is absolutely insane. I mean, we made everything clear in today's episode. The BIS told you, the DTCC, Hidden Road, Ripple buying Hidden Road, the DTCC patent, which I'll link, the link in the description down below for you guys to review. But this is the DTCC coming out and putting XRP, XLM on their patents, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? I mean, just think about it. The DTCC is the backbone of the financial market. Okay? And they have been quietly mapping out Ripple into their architecture. They didn't announce it on CNBC. They didn't scream it from rooftops. These are the documents that we go through. These are the documents that you guys sit through, that 99% of your average individual cannot even sit here and watch a video that's over 10 minutes long, right? These PDFs are put together by industry experts, and they're telling you the end game. And we told you this was going to take time since the inception. So you have the DTCC quadrillions. Why are you not?
So there it is, guys, right there. Stronghold, Velo, XDC, XLM, XRP, Hedera. Those are the chosen ones. All right. It's that obvious. That's how the world works. I don't know if you can't see it now with what's going on now. It's a giant movie being played out in front of your eyes. And the grieving widow, you know, her interview or her speech, she giggled twice in it. My husband, Charlie. She laughed twice. All right, guys, when we put our dog down in June, when we were like sitting out front and he was on the blanket and the vet came over, we were all crying hysterically. And I promise you, not one of us was just like, oh yeah, it's so and then went back to our cry. You don't do that unless you're a crisis actor and you're pretending to be sad and you just can't do it because you're not sad. So you giggle. That's how this shit works, guys. And that's what I see when I watch little clips like that. I pick shit out like that. But to the average person, they don't understand. They can't see it. So everything is a stage. All these big companies and big cryptos are chosen. They are put there on purpose. I've told you about all of them for 3.5 years plus now. All right. You've had so much time. You still do. And make sure you own the best blue chips in crypto before you go degenning. Have your bags packed of XRP, XLM, Flare, Stronghold. And if not, I don't know what to tell you. They're going to be the winners. You can go listen to all the FUD you want. There's tons of videos out there saying why it's all FUD. It's never going anywhere. But I'm not stupid. I've spent every day trying to figure this out. And if there was a solution, I would have found it. I've asked the questions. If not, XRP, what if? And no one has ever came up with a different answer. So until we're proven wrong, and so far with DOVU now popping off like crazy, LCX, the stuff that they were doing, Stronghold is getting listed on LCX exchange, the stuff they were doing with Quant and Hedera back in the day, it's all tied together. And we are on it. If you guys need help, go to vibrafinance.com, book a one-on-one. I'll sit down with you, go through your whole portfolio, see what you're missing, see what you need, and get yourself positioned in the long-term winners and the high-risk altcoins that you're going to sell this cycle and make a lot of money on. You know, you don't want to sell your future short with XRP at $20, $50 when it could be going to hundreds, if not thousands in the future. So smash that like button. It's what we could do to get this out here and break through the algorithm and fight the shadow banning, guys. Let's fight the shadow banning for me. Smash that like button. I'll do anything for clicks and views these days.
At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance, we are the future of crypto.